Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. Focusing on the lives, experiences, and viewpoints of motherlode women, the show features a rotating cast of 4 women of all ages and from all walks of life. Quick, upbeat, and fast-paced with a variety of topics, this one-hour show will be aired live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. Tune in, it's Just Between Us.
Good morning and welcome to Just Between Us. And I'm not going to say it's a ladies' talk show because we've got a guy on with us today, so it should be a lot of fun. Take your hat off.
You haven't seen my hat here.
Oh, I don't want your hat here. Okay.
I can go figure it later.
Okay. I'm Susie from Volcano.
I'm Austin from Pine Grove.
Are you?
I don't know. I forget sometimes.
And I'm Martha from Ione, Jackson.
Okay. Martha, you give it a toss, and Austin, you grab 2.
All right.
And the first topic is
Nostalgia.
Number 1.
In being nostalgic, can you separate your today situations from your yesteryear memories?
Okay, and the next topic?
Handling the unexpected.
Okay, number 5.
Does age have any bearing on how people handle the unexpected, or does age really have any influence on one's actions?
Oh, yes.
How are we going to do nostalgia with him when...
Hey, I can be nostalgic.
Yeah, Miss Nancy's romper room. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Just Between Us.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. Austin, our first question is about nostalgia.
Nostalgia. In being nostalgic, can you separate your today's situations from your yesteryear memories?
Well, I think that you have to be realistic. I think that nostalgia, a lot of things in dealing with the past and whatever puts a smile on your face and you remember the good things, but there's probably also things in the past that can kind of taint, certain things. And so I think that, I think that I think most people can distinguish between being nostalgic and living in today's modern day, and taking each day a day at a time.
It's difficult. It really is. If you're, and like in my case, I've thought back, this ex-girlfriend, she wasn't that bad. And then someone will remind me of different things. And it's like, you're just forgetting that selectively. I might not mean to.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do. And it makes it seem like that was a great relationship or that was a great friendship.
Right.
And I forget until someone reminds me again later on, no, that wasn't. That definitely shouldn't have happened.
I feel that it's good to just remember the good, but when it's time to remember the bad, it's good not to forget the bad. But
sometimes that shapes you.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely, because I have wonderful memories when I first came to this country, but it wasn't easy.
It was a struggle.
It was a big, big struggle. It's like,
sure.
It's like you're a slave to somebody, you know, and it's like, you don't know the language. You have to go by what
you had different hurdles. You had different hurdles. You had a new culture, a new language, and it was a different hurdle for you.
And it looks like a big mountain you have to climb, and then once you get there, you just go, wow.
Well, in your case, you have to celebrate the good things that did happen. You have to be able to look back and go,
some bad things that had to happen for me to, to become an American citizen.
Yeah.
I had to learn so much about this country. I'm still learning, and I love to have given my children the opportunity to be born in the United States and be good American citizens. And then adopting children. So there's a lot of history with my life, I'm even thinking about writing a book someday.
I think that's exciting.
That'd be a good book.
And you know what? You should not allow anything to stand in your way of wanting, wanting to do things.
Can you say that word? Say that word.
Nostalgic?
No, I can't say it. I'm still learning the language.
It's okay. You do better than a lot of people nowadays.
You do very well.
There's kids in my generation that they don't know how to say
a lot of
they speak in a whole nother language. I don't think it's English anymore. It's something else. It's
Yeah.
You can speak it better than a lot of people.
Well, I think, too, in looking back and being nostalgic, I think that the older you get sometimes, the more you like to look back and you like to, like I just went to my class reunion in September, or I should say the end of August, and believe me, it was...
What year was it?
50.
Oh, yeah.
I know. So it was really, well, I graduated at 9.
Being on your 50th.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
I can't. I mean,
But it goes by so fast,
like,
you don't even know.
You just...
I've only been out a year, and it's
I know.
not even a year. It's a couple months now.
It goes by fast, especially when you have to, when you're in,
sure.
When you're in reality and you're grown up. But I think that, the nostalgia, the pictures and everything that came back, it seemed like it was like yesterday. It just didn't even seem like those years passed. 50 years had gone by since the day of graduation.
And in your case, I mean, looking back that far, you're seeing things that you haven't seen in
Right.
a long time.
Right.
It doesn't do you a whole lot of good to remember all the bad stuff, because that's just being...
No.
I mean,
Now, high school, I had fun in high school. High school was great for me.
Yeah, if you look back and remembered, hey, this person wasn't, the nicest person to me in high school, if you're still harboring that, if you're remembering that and still harboring that resentment...
Yeah. I imagine that could be tough.
That's making you petty. Whereas if you just look back and think, man, I remember being in the quad, I remember going to lunch, hanging out with friends, I remember leaving early or ditching school every now and then to go just hang out, do something. That's the stuff
Well, what
you
was
want to
good for
remember.
me was that it was a very small school in a lot of little communities,
Right.
and it was so much fun. So there wasn't the mean kids.
Susie, we didn't have all the technology
No.
that we have today. We didn't have,
So that's the
TV.
difference. So that's kind of
Not too
fun.
many families had TV.
Oh, yeah, now
No.
I have three or four in my house now.
Yeah.
That's saying something. I have,
And then much less, telephone or sometimes even electricity.
Party lines when you had telephones. That's what was
Yes.
so funny. You had party lines and you lift it up and somebody else was talking, so you'd have to put it back down and they could hear you. And a lot of times that they would say, excuse me, but I have an emergency. And 9 times out of 10, I lived in a very, very small community. There was probably only about maybe 2,000 to 3,000 people in the whole town, if that much. And it was like the size of Sutter Creek, downtown Sutter Creek. That was it. And it was really nice because everybody knew everybody. And so that brings back the nostalgia. That's what I like about up here. When you live in a small community, you know that. But nostalgia is something that I think it warms everybody's heart and soul at times, and it's something that it's only for you, and that's what's so good. Hey, we're going to take a little short break, and then we're going to come back and hit you up with our second topic.
Just between us. Just between us.
Welcome back to Just Between Us, and topic 2 is...
handling the unexpected. Does age have any bearing on how people handle the unexpected, or does age really have any influence on one's actions?
I think it's the experience. I think it's the experience. If you've been through something, it's much easier to handle it. With the experience that I have in my business, I know how to handle a stressful situation.
You can get through anything. You've been through everything.
I mean, you just learn to take it and say, okay, I got to do the best that I can. I can't lose control, because my grandfather taught me very young, the one that loses control loses.
Wins.
Loses.
Yeah.
The one
Loses.
that loses. No.
The one that stays calm wins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
you
one
bet.
that loses control loses.
Yep.
So if you ever want to, if somebody comes in and tries to bully or tries to make you look like you're dumb or try anything,
be
to
my
hurt
guest.
you,
Smear you
anything to
somehow.
hurt
Yeah,
you.
be my guest.
You're the one that's supposed to stay calm.
Exactly.
Like, what the heck do I care what you think?
Yeah.
This is the way that I feel. This is the way that I handle it. And I had to learn because I was bullied so much.
But don't you think people that bully have no self-confidence? I mean, all they want to do is
Yeah.
yap, 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 yap. They have no
Well,
self-confidence, no self-esteem.
I need somebody to listen to.
Yeah, and when people listen to them, they feed that ego, and it's
if
ridiculous.
it is somebody important in my life, they are criticizing me or doing something to make me feel uncomfortable, then I put attention and I, you know.
Well, but that's different.
But
That's
when somebody out of the nowhere
just starts rambling
some
on,
clown,
this.
clown out of this world, you know, tries to make me feel bad. I know what I've been through. I know what I've done in my life, you know.
Right.
You can't bully me. You can't. You know, I dare you.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to lose control. I am not going to lose control.
Well, they're not that important enough to lose control.
Exactly.
I mean, you can say, you know, oh, why do they continue this ignorant behavior or whatever, and they, you know, and it hits you. It's totally unexpected out in left field or whatever. And then you say, you know what, who cares?
Exactly.
Seriously, who really cares? I mean, they're so unimportant. And if you watch the interaction with other people, people are not laughing with them, they're laughing at them. And that's the sad thing.
Well, you know,
it turns into that a lot, in high school especially, for a lot of kids. And that's why the whole teen suicide thing has become such a huge thing. A lot of teenagers aren't taught nowadays, especially, to have a thick skin. They're weak, I don't like to say it that way, but they don't have the character that allows them to go,
well, it's unexpected.
You know what, I don't care what you think of me. I'm my own person. What you're saying is nothing to me.
Yeah, but you know, Austin, when it comes out of left field and it's unexpected, and because we're just doing this, handling the unexpected, a lot of kids are not expecting to be ridiculed or hurt or whatever. Not everybody can slough it off. That's the sad thing.
And it becomes a bigger issue than that, though.
Yes, and for kids, especially in junior high, high school, the peer pressure is vast. Whereas when you get a hold, when you're an adult and you have certain things happen, like you're going down the road and somebody plows into you in your car, you know, like when you're a kid, it's so devastating. This is my car, this is blah, 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 blah. You know, you get all upset. And now you just get on the phone and say, okay, let me call the insurance company, let me call AAA or whatever, tow the damn thing, and let me just move on with my life. You know, certain things are just not as earth-shaking as things in the past, but I think that age has a lot to do with handling the unexpected, because you learn through the years to handle little things.
You see what happens, the first situations that you go through when you're younger.
Right.
And then if you have any common sense, you go, what good did that do me?
Absolutely.
To lose control.
Yeah, you get all hyped up over something, and then that person is just going on about their day.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't care that they don't feel anything. It's like
that's what's important.
It's like when you get cut off.
Right.
So
we have to move on, dear. Our next two topics are what, Austin?
Having empathy is our first one.
Okay. Number 4.
Is empathy hard for some to show due to their lack of feeling and being understanding to others?
Okay. And the next
other
one?
Topic?
Role models.
Oh, here we go. Going to talk about me. Number 1.
Do you feel that it is healthy to have role models and have someone you can look up to for advice?
You bet. Let's talk
Okey-dokey.
about that one. That's a good topic.
You better believe it. We're going to take a very, very short break, and we're going to be back with these two topics.
Whether it's your first time panning for gold.
And now back to Just Between Us.
Thank you, Tommy. Welcome back, and we're going to be having our first topic is having empathy.
Having empathy. Is empathy hard for some to show due to their lack of feeling and being understanding to others?
Absolutely.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. And it's the way that either they were raised or it's the way that their personality is made up, that they can't show any type of
emotions.
Well, they can show emotion, but for them to embrace somebody and to show them kindness and understanding, they would rather see that person go through what they're going through instead of showing them empathy. It's just not in them. They're afraid maybe to reach out. Maybe their personality is the type that they're afraid to reach out. I don't know.
Sometimes I think it's people that they don't see others the way that they see themselves. If they see themselves in hard times, they will have some people that will give them empathy. They'll feel bad for them. That, hey, you know, keep going, keep chugging along. But if they see somebody else like that, they're not necessarily so inclined to be as, you know, much of a handout to them. They become more a little bit self-centered in that, you know, they put themselves in that situation. They deserve what they're getting.
Well, when you see somebody go through something, and it's repeated over and over again, a lot of people just say, "I've heard it. I don't want to deal with it. I want to walk on." But you have to understand that person's walking in those shoes.
Yeah.
They're getting sick and tired of maybe a situation, or they're getting sick and tired of going through something, and they just turn to you and say, "Hey, can you be a little bit supportive?" And when you're not, and you put up this barrier like, "Well, that's just the way it is," or whatever, you are not showing empathy towards a person.
No, that's...
What you're doing is that you're dismissing that person and their feelings.
You're just pushing their feelings off like that you don't care.
That it's not important to you.
Sometimes, though, you have to. If you're getting somebody that's recurring just the same issue, and yes, they do come and confide in you all the time, but it's always the same thing over
you get
and over.
tired.
Drama
and you
about
keep
the
telling
trauma.
them how to fix it. You keep telling them, hey, do this and it won't happen, or do that and it won't happen. Do this and you will be better off.
Right.
And they don't take the advice, and then you're at the point where it's like,
But
okay,
I think it's flattering. Don't you feel it's flattering when somebody comes to you and tells you things and says, "Now what do I do? I mean, you know, here we go again," or "Now what?" Whatever. I think it's flattering to the person that you're saying that to,
No, I'm very flattered.
because you're looking for
advice.
Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
And especially, and it's not an age thing, because I go to Austin with things and he'll tell me, "I think you should do this and that." And I don't think it's an age thing. And I don't think it's a male-female or female-female or male thing. I think it's something that if you consider somebody a friend and you have...
And you trust their judgment.
And you trust their judgment and you have confidence in that person, I think it's very, very important that you say, "Okay, here we go again, now what? Now what? Now what?"
Well, you have to see the difference between drama and somebody just dumb, you know?
Yeah.
When they just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Right.
After you tell them, you know, this is, in my opinion, this is what I see. If they come and they ask my advice, I said, "This is what you're doing wrong. Stop calling the cops on this man for 24 hours a day."
Right.
You know,
Take the
or,
initiative
you know,
and step up to the plate.
Yeah, don't put your problems off on other people.
Exactly.
Take
and
the
make,
responsibility
and make everybody
and do
else
something to change it.
Right.
and make somebody miserable. I had a friend that, you know, the ex-husband and the children and the this and the that, and like, okay, I had enough. I can't listen to this anymore. I'm sorry.
Do something
not that I
about
don't
it.
have. It's not that I don't have empathy, but you are not doing anything to
Better
make it
yourself.
better. You know.
Well, you become a sounding board after a
It's
while.
like, oh my
It's like,
God.
you know, and
the
that's
sobbing
fine.
and the crying, and you know, I'm the most compassionate person you're gonna find.
Right.
But once I had enough, I'm done.
Yeah, just
It's like, I can't, you know, you can't do anything myself for you. Just
I have one friend that I love him. He keeps coming to me for advice, and I don't usually have an issue giving him advice. But sometimes it gets to the point where he'll come and ask what I think. He'll come and ask what my parents think because we're close. And he'll ask a lot of people.
But then he'll do what he wants.
But it's because he's looking for somebody to tell him what he
approval.
wants to hear.
Yeah.
Right, not what
He
he
wants
wants to
approval.
do.
It's not what
Yeah.
he should do, it's what he wants to do. And if somebody agrees with that, he'll run with it.
Yeah.
And so at one point I did tell him, look, if you're going to keep coming to me, if you want to come to me for advice, you're not going to get to hear what you want to do necessarily. So if you want,
Right.
if
You're gonna
you're
hear
gonna
the
come,
truth.
next time you come to me, make sure you want my actual advice. Don't make sure
Right.
that it's not what you want to hear, it's the actual advice.
Right. Sometimes it's tough for people to live in reality and to face certain things. You know,
No, reality sucks.
it does. That's the one thing I can say, like, even with my grandkids, I will not tell them what they want to hear. I will always tell them the truth and the way that I perceive the situation, and I won't sugarcoat it. And I think that's the reason why they can say certain things to me, especially my little one with John. He's very open, and he likes to talk about very adult things, which I think is
I noticed that talking to him. He's a
yeah,
really cool kid.
he really is. He's a cool kid, and he's very mature in many ways. Is he a kid? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can take it to so much, and then you back off. But he's a kid. We're going to move on, Austin.
All right. Next we have role models. Do you feel that it is
too.
healthy to have role models? Don't touch the dice. Do you feel that it is healthy to have role models and have someone you can look up to for advice? Of course it is. I have multiple role models. I have you two, for example.
Oh, thank
I have,
And we love you dearly.
Oh.
Well, I love you guys too. And then I also have my grandparents that I can look up to.
Right.
I have
You
my
got a
old
great
football
mom and
coach.
dad, too.
My mom and dad are great role models.
They
I
are.
also have my football coach, and he tends to be my biggest role model. I go and see him twice a week, and I'm over there, and we talk for a good hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, just talking. And he's the one that helps me kind of just make decisions on what I want to do with myself, what I want to do with my life.
But see, looking as an older person, and Martha can agree with me, and watching you grow, I mean, you're doing things, you're out there, you are a very exceptional young man.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
And
you are.
you have not only a heart of gold, but you are would make any parent proud to say, this is my son or this is my grandson.
Yeah.
Because you are
My grandson, maybe.
yeah, well, yes, of my adopted grandson. But you are an exceptional person in the respect that you can talk to kids your age, you can talk to kids younger, you can talk to adults. You're not intimidated by older people, and you set a good example. And you are kind of a role model in a way, because we're watching you grow,
Right.
and we have both said many times, what a great kid. If every family could have
All
a
the
wonderful
time.
young man, sure, are you going to stumble along the way?
Oh,
Everyone
yes.
does.
Absolutely.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. We all have done that. But you had your grandpa. You know,
Yeah,
he
I
was
had my
your role
grandfather.
model.
He was my role model. He's still my role model, you know, till this
Sure.
day, because
You think of things and you hear his
I
voice.
just hear him. Whenever I'm in a situation, I mean, things that he used to say pop in my mind.
Sure.
And that's who's made me be who I am today.
Yeah. See, you had your grandpa, I had my noni. And there are little things that I hear and little things that I see. Talk about nostalgia, and you go back and you say, oh boy, my noni would say this, you know, and she would always do that. Just crazy little thing, little Italian things that it wouldn't mean anything to people, you know, born and raised here in whatever. But there are little things that you remember.
Oh, they just touch you.
That's right, and they guide you. And you know, even psychics have said, Martha, that at those times they are with you. They're giving you extra because they know that you need it, and that you are. They have that
I'm
connection.
getting a knot on my throat, okay?
No, but it's true. It's true. And he's looking over you all the time, and he's so proud of look what you've accomplished, for Pete's sake. You talk about being a role model. I don't think you understand the type of role model that you are to many, many people. I've even heard young kids say, man, oh man, oh man, Martha never stops. She keeps going. Look at 9 children you've raised. Look at all the grandkids. You've been a role. When you had your big doings over there,
Non-stop.
that it was.
Tons of people.
How many people said that your children, you know,
Oh.
Jose,
Yeah.
Rachel,
I have the best kids in the world, I swear to God.
Letitia, they all said, you know, she's
yes,
been
I
such
do.
a great role model. You hear that over and over and over again.
There's
So-
a price to pay. You can't have too much fun.
Yeah, really. But you know, it's funny
Being
when
a role model.
No, you're now limited. You're like, man, people look up to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, party.
I know.
Dang it, what the heck?
Well, sure you can. You can do all of that. You just have
can't
to
party
I just have to
irresponsibly.
behave.
You have
Yeah,
to be, you have to be
exactly.
responsible,
Exactly.
and you have to
Exactly.
understand.
And I
your
have.
limits.
It's not a what do you call it? It's not a burden on me.
No.
You know, that's the way I am, and that's who I am, and I enjoy everything that I do. I enjoy. If I don't enjoy it, I will not do it. You know.
But how many people have come to the United States and they have excelled? They have done so much because they become other people's role model. There is no 9 to 5, Martha.
Oh,
It's
I know.
6 in the morning till 11 at night. Then go home and take care of your family. There is no time. That's the thing that makes you different than other people. You have no time limit on learning and giving and excelling, and that is what's very, very important.
You know what I remember, and I really enjoyed this part, was going to school and speaking about when I was a realtor. I remember,
Yeah.
and so many kids now, they back then are realtors now. They
See?
have come to me
And
and they
said-
said, Martha, I remember when you came, and this is why I'm a
See?
realtor.
How much
It's like
fun is
weird,
that?
huh?
Yeah, you're like,
It's
man, I'm affecting
red-
people's
red-
lives, their jobs, their
yeah.
families.
Amazing.
You touch a lot of people's lives.
That is
and it's
incredible.
That is amazing.
Incredible.
Well,
So-
I'll tell you what. In being a role model, it's something that I think that comes natural to some
You're
people.
born with it.
And
That's
you're born with it,
you know.
and you go with the flow,
Yeah.
and it's just something.
I know
that's
when
natural.
people tell me that things about me, I go, doesn't everybody do that?
No.
Doesn't everybody help
No.
each other?
No, they don't.
Doesn't everybody go out
Yeah, I
and
thought that
do?
was,
No.
I thought that was the American way.
No, not at
Not
all.
anymore.
We're going to do something that is definitely the American way. We're going to take a short break and come back and discuss 2 more topics with
Yeah.
you.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
Welcome back. I'm Susie from Volcano.
I'm Austin from Pine Grove.
And I'm Martha from my own in Jackson.
Okay, we're going to do a free-for-all. We're going to be talking
boy.
about,
Okay.
this will be right up your alley, too.
Yeah.
And
Which one I know.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about new energy technology, and what do you feel is going to be new and exciting, well, not only in energy technology, but in other avenues of technology.
You know, just in about 5 years from now, we are going to see big changes
Oh, of
that
course we
I've
are.
been listening to.
Every month?
Yes, it's like you probably know more than I do.
I don't know if I know more. I don't keep up on energy necessarily. Just technology in
Yeah,
general.
well,
I kinda
any
try to watch.
technology, anything. I mean, things are going to change much higher. I've been listening to Coast to Coast. There's a program on the radio that
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
listen to, and I watch a lot of documentaries. That's how I educate myself, by watching documentaries. But the things that are changing are just
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Something for renewable resources. Everyone's thinking solar or wind. I actually like the idea that they have a couple of them put up. I don't know where exactly they are, but it's the tide turbines, where it's basically a pillar in the water, and I think it is still hooked up with a windmill at the top, but through the base, the water is moving through, moving turbine down there as well, creating more power. And I think the fact that we are having the whole issue of global warming, whether that's actually an issue or not, whoever decides that,
Yeah, really.
that is a good thing regardless, because it creates
Well,
energy without having to burn the coal, besides to make the equipment. And that's the thing that a lot of people, I think, overlook. Everyone says, oh, the Prius, such an economic car, so great for the environment. Anything that's a hybrid, works on a battery, great for the environment. It's only good while it's still running.
Right.
It is just as bad for the environment while it's
That's
being
right.
made. That's just about as bad
Well,
as it being on the road
when
for as
you
long
think
as
about
it is.
it, Austin, you have to have the batteries changed out so many years. Am I correct?
I don't know if they have to be changed out. I
But-
think that
But there's a lot of
there's a ton of hybrids, and the batteries, once they go bad,
yeah,
we don't know how to dispose of them yet.
right.
So we're making things that down the road we're going, I don't know how we're going to get rid of this, but we'll figure it out then. Don't do that.
No,
Rely on it's like working with money and credit. Oh, I'll have enough money to pay for that later on. I just need to use my credit card now. You don't have a guarantee of that money because you don't have it in your hand.
Right.
Same thing here. You don't have a guarantee of that knowledge to dispose of that battery correctly because you don't have it at hand right then and there. So come up with an idea now that you can use.
Well, I think too. I think that one of the things about new technology, it's like phones. It's like you buy a $400, $500 phone,
$700.
$700
Could
phone.
you imagine in the 70s thinking that you were going to pay that kind of money
No.
for a cell phone?
No, that was a down payment for a house in the 70s.
I was making...
This little piece of metal, plastic, glass, $700
Okay,
to buy one of these.
and as soon as you get it up and running for a month, it is already obsolete.
It's obsolete, and it's because no tech company nowadays doesn't practice obsolescence. Every tech company.
But the bad thing is that people, it's the advertising. You have to have this, you have to have that. No, you don't.
It's not necessarily that. It's becoming these phones are only good for a limited time.
Right.
This phone.
What I think, let me tell you what I think.
Yes.
I think we, the American people, want to be better than somebody else. If I see you buy a phone that is, $700, then I say, I'm going to buy something better than you,
Not if you look at my purse.
It just seems to me, since, I became an American citizen close to 40-some years ago, that's what I see. Everybody wants to be better. That's not that. It's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that the people that sell stuff, they love to put that competition out there because they make more money out of us.
See,
out of our attitudes, out of our what do you say? Like I'm better than you are because I have a better telephone.
But don't you think
not necessarily with that though? With the phones especially.
With everything.
With
everything.
With everything, it's different. If you are looking at really just kind of out there tech, I mean, they have this thing. It's coming out in 2016, and honestly, I think it'd be cool to get because and once it starts moving, once they get one that starts to move, then it'll be really cool. But it's this little robot that is in your house, and you can talk to it, and it'll link up with your phone, so you get all the phone calls, text messages, emails.
That's what I'm talking about.
It'll take pictures on command.
It's not far from
No,
here.
it's 2016, and it's only like $400 or $500 to buy one.
A lot of technology.
Great, something else to clean up after.
A lot of technology.
It doesn't move. It's just here, and it'll
just the
oscillate
technology
and talk to you.
that they have, where all you have to do is look at your phone. You can look at your home. You can have cameras and check your home.
You can lock your house. You can
lock your door. You can turn your lights on.
You can turn your car on.
I mean, just 40 years ago when I came to this country, none of that existed, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I have seen so
Science
much.
is great.
We have seen, in my lifetime, I have seen so many changes, which I feel very privileged that I'm able to even, have them. Just being on TV alone, it's it's like, wow.
Yeah. I almost wanted to stay on this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, we got to go. Well, we could do that if you'd like. We don't have to
I'm down.
do that.
I mean, technology is such a huge
All right, let's
thing
do that then. We can always save this for next week. It's a
but
scenario.
when it comes to the idea of everyone's trying to one-up each other, at least personally and with a lot of people that I know, it's not necessarily that when they're looking for different technology. It's how can it benefit me in some way. When it comes to Tommy has his iPad because he has a Mac and he has an iPhone. If he has 3 different devices that are all linked up to the same stuff, he's bound to have at least one of them on him at all times. If he's working on his Mac and then, he has to move, he has to leave the room and go do something,
now,
it travels here, he can
But don't you
keep
feel,
doing
too,
things.
now, I feel like if you're going to school, and I do believe now, I think it's a wonderful device that a lot of people say, these kids, 9 years old, they're running around, they've got these phones and stuff. Yes, you know why? I'll tell you why. It's a good safety feature, too, because parents can track their kids. They could call their mom and dad and say, hey,
I'm not
here.
saying it's a bad thing.
It's a good thing to have the phones, but it's if they have the $700 phone
and they lose it,
and I have the $700 phone, this is so easy to break. iPhones especially tend to be notorious for being broken. I don't know if it's because more people have them, and so you just see them broken more, but giving a 9-year-old an iPhone or an Android phone,
I don't believe that.
That's garbage. Give them a flip phone.
That's exactly
That's what I started on. My mom went and got me one of them little Samsung flip phones, and I lost it twice.
Sure. And
You're going to lose it.
But I think it's good that children are it's a fast communication if there's in trouble or whatever happens. Okay, on the other hand of everything coming out new, one of my pet peeves is recycling those blasted plastic bags that they give you in the store. I am so glad that a lot of places are getting rid of them. You don't need them. You can buy 2 plastic, the tote bags.
I have.
You can use those
And I always
and
forget them
over
in my
and
car.
over and over. I know, me too.
See, that's how my mom
But
is.
you know what I
Like,
do? I ask
I
for
have 'em.
paper because they recycle the paper and stuff. Those little plastic bags, and you cannot imagine how much waste is with those
Oh
bags.
no, those are incredible.
They're terrible.
The thing that I do end up recycling those bags though in another way. Once I bring them home and I've unloaded them, I don't just throw them away. We actually have
little bags.
Yeah, we have little bags, and we'll we have
keep them
two of
there.
those, and we'll
Oh,
keep
sure.
them there, and we'll
Sure.
use those for my trash can in my room,
Sure.
trash can in the bathroom, and pretty much anything
but,
else.
But
that
Austin,
we
common
look at the
sense.
advancement that we have made with recycling tires now. They make tan bark for your yard, lasts forever.
I
They're
remember
doing-
when I was a little girl, any celebration that we had done in Mexico, I mean, we burned tires.
Really?
And we sat around the tires, our nose would be black.
That is
our-
such a
our
bad
lashes-
thing, doesn't it?
Well, but when you were a little kid, we
That
didn't
was- You don't know
back
about it.
then,
That
you
is
know.
so bad
Yeah,
for you.
but
Like-
I mean,
Yeah.
so many things that we did when we were kids.
Well, we
that
still do
we
stupid
didn't
things.
know,
Well,
you
sure
know,
we
we
do.
didn't know. I
But
mean,
recycling
you know.
recycling the glass, recycling. When we grew up,
I do all
mean,
of that.
milk was in
The cartons or
glass.
the glasses?
Yeah, we had your sodas and everything that wasn't redeemable. I mean, there was a lot of things that was so much waste. I think that we're more conscious today. But I think if you want to take care
We
of
use more.
much more than I'm 10 times more. But I think that the one thing is that we have to learn, if we take care of our planet, and they talk about whether global warming is real or not. There's those that say it's vastly overrated, and it's a good excuse to
spend money.
and to absolutely. There are those that there are experts out there that'll tell you that
Well,
the
do you know-
solar ice cap is stronger now than it's ever been. It just depends on who you listen to and what you believe.
I did not know, you know, and I'm pretty well educated by now, but I did not know who to call to pick up my stove that I got rid of because I got a new commercial stove at the restaurant. There's a place in Plymouth that will come, will pick it up and take it away and recycle.
There
Oh, is
you
that
go.
the
You know,
scrapyard, the Plymouth scrapyard?
Right.
There you go.
You know,
There
but
you-
I mean, if you ask questions to people, people will let you know.
Yeah.
I love Facebook because you can ask a question and everybody gives you their own answer.
Absolutely.
And that's how, you know, that's the kind of technology that I like, where I can ask a question and people will, you know, give me answers, and then I make up my own mind
You know what's really
about
what's really not. You're
good.
100% correct about that. Where I live up in Amador Pines, they have a little network up there now. So that now they get on there if an animal's missing or if they
Yeah.
hear something or whatever. But now they get on there and say, "Hey, I need something upholstered. Can you tell me who to go to?" Or
Right.
My car
Right.
needs this or that. So it's kind of like a network,
You
and I
tell
think that's
each other.
That's like when Facebook has
Yeah.
the deals on wheels
Yeah.
for
Right.
Frogville or
Yeah.
the Amador or the Sutter Creek yard sale.
Yeah.
You can, I mean, that's such a huge advancement. You
Sure.
can see vehicles or furniture or anything
You bet.
that you would never have seen if it didn't.
And I think
show
that
up online.
technology is so very, very important. I'm excited, and I may not be here in 10 years, but I'm excited to see what happens in 10 years when his age now takes
I know.
over, and they're developing
it's going
things.
to be mind-blowing.
It's gonna be
It's
great.
You know,
scary.
not for them, for
But for
us.
us.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm
because of-
scared. Are you kidding me? I'm scared.
I got something that's mind-blowing. Break, and then we're going to come back and hit you up with our hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be back on the flip side of 3.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. And now back to Just Between Us.
Welcome back.
We
And
are.
here is our hot topic. Are both you ready?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Something.
What do you feel is one of the most important issues or top priority in the coming years that are facing our nation or us as a people? For example, there's terrorism, there's these outbreaks of these illnesses now that we know nothing about. There's taxes, our economy, there's governmental scandals, untruths that were being given by our government. What do you think are some of the top things that we're going to be facing as a country?
Some of the top. Our
Or
foreign
what's
policy.
important to you?
Our foreign policy. I understand that we're in a lot of countries because of treaties. I
Right,
understand that.
exactly.
But if we're the ones that wrote the treaty because
We should be able to
we
break
should
it.
I've been
be able
saying
to
that
fix
for
that.
years.
Exactly. Why? You know why we have issues with ISIS coming here? What, with anybody coming here?
Yeah.
Because we're there.
Yes.
Why are we there? What are we protecting? We're protecting people that aren't our citizens. Yeah, we have a couple people that'll go over there and visit. We have reporters that'll go over there. And obviously that's ended pretty poorly for them lately. But,
I know.
yeah, it's
I
sad.
know.
But we're the ones that caused it. And when I say we, I'm meaning our government, because we didn't all vote to go to ISIS and say, hey.
No, but unfortunately, I think the reason why, and I totally understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate your opinion, but I think what we have to remember is that we have factions out there that are basically saying, I am going to come and I'm going to kill Americans. We had 9/11. We saw that. We were hit way before that. We were also hit at one time in the Twin Towers, okay? But it wasn't enough to kill a vast amount of people. One person is too many, okay?
Yeah.
We've had the naval ship that was rammed, that was and killed some of our soldiers. I think the fact is we are very war weary. We're a war weary nation. We are tired of spending money in other countries. But as we were talking about energy, unfortunately, ISIS has gone in and has taken over. They're making like $10 to $12 million a day because they have taken over oil fields.
They have those oil fields.
But yes,
We have our own.
We have our own. And we also, a lot of this is like when we get involved with Putin and we stick our nose there. Well, that's probably because they are a big source of energy for Europe. Europe is our allies. A lot of people say, well, why are we still have bases, and why are we still over in places like in Europe, in South Korea, or whatever? Because not only because of treaties, but because if we are attacked or we have any threat from any of those countries, we are there and ready to go. The bad thing is today is that we have factions out there that want to kill people because of their freedoms and because of their freedoms of speech, because of their freedom of religion. You know, why is it that these people, we're making excuses for why they're angry and they want to kill us and stuff. My thing is that why can't Jewish people live together in harmony? Christian people are living together in harmony. Why do you have to go and upset the apple cart?
Because they want to, basically. Their Quran set tells them one thing.
Right.
And yes,
well, why is it some people that are of the Muslim faith, they're peace-loving people. They don't want to all kill us.
It's interpretation, and it comes with every religion.
So what you're saying is that it is a radical faction in this, let's take ISIS, for instance, because we had Taliban, we had Al-Qaeda, we had all of them. ISIS, and then there's a few more, the Khorasan or whatever. They're just as bad. Okay, so if we don't deal with that and we don't address that, and it has been proven now, just recently, that they've caught some members of ISIS that have come through. They found them in Texas.
Yeah, but here's my question. We're in there trying to fight them off. We're trying to, quell that rebellion and eliminate ISIS. Why are we the only ones? Why are we the only ones that are the world police?
Well, there are other.
It's not our job.
Well, there are other countries in the background right now.
Yeah.
And they will step forward
at every single thing that happens in this
because that's what we do.
It's either us versus Russia on diplomatic issues over Kazakhstan or whatever.
I'll tell
us
you,
versus
Austin,
Middle
I
East.
will tell you something. If you want to find out, you have to write to your government. You have to call them. You have to leave a message. You have to fax them. You have to, do whatever it is necessary. You think that the president will never read a letter that you send. You might be surprised.
That's not that I don't think he'll read the letter. I think he's going to disregard it because he doesn't care.
Well, you don't know that for a fact.
He goes on vacation more than anybody.
Have you ever written a letter to any?
Maybe it's a good thing, Austin, that he does.
Any legislator, anybody that might listen to you. I have.
I think locally.
And I have made a difference, And I always tell everybody, if you are going to say something about somebody, you know, and you don't let them know, and you just talk and talk and talk and talk, you know, write a letter, you know, have it certified if you want, and send it to that legislator or the governor or the whoever it is, the president, you know. You never know if you're going to make the difference.
Well, I think that it's a great thing. It makes you feel better, but I happen to lean a little bit with Austin is saying is that I think that we are, as a nation right now, we're too detached with the American people.
We're not united.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're detached.
Yeah.
We need to take a short break. We'll be right back and wrap it up.
Just Between Us. That's spontaneous, intuitive, live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
HICAP, the Health Insurance Counseling and Advocacy Program, is a program of Area 12 Agency on Aging. HICAP can help you, the Medicare beneficiary, or a family member navigate the Medicare maze. Call HICAP today for a personal counseling session in your local area. HICAP services are free. Call HICAP today at 800-434-0222. We offer unbiased information to help you navigate the Medicare maze. Medicare Part D, supplements, Medicare Advantage plans, long-term care questions, denials, and appeals. Call HICAP today. It's a free service. 800-434-0222. Medicare Part D open enrollment is coming October 15th through December 7th. Schedule your appointment today. You've come to TSPNTV's YouTube channel. To find the video you're looking for, choose the show's playlist below and look for the specific video. It's easy. It's TSPN TV, Amador County's local television network on YouTube. All right. Excel Physical Therapy has a...
And now back to Just Between Us.
Welcome back. It's been a fast hour. You can reach us at 223-4877, or you can fax us at 223-4866, or you can email us at bookme@tspntv.com. You can also go on YouTube and catch any of our programming and any events that Tommy and Austin go out and shoot, and you can also catch Martha's advertisement for Jose's on TSPN. But Austin, thank you for filling in today.
It's no problem. I love it.
Besitos.
Adios. I love you. I had fun with you guys, Austin.
Me too, Austin.
I like coming
You're
here.
the best.
It's great having you on here. That's it. So fast.